Hi all. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, hitting the like button. Today, guys, I wanted to do a special edition of talking about new makeup because there are so many new makeup releases and collections coming out for the Halloween holiday season that I figured, you know what, Amira, let's just do a new makeup releases spooky edition. Let's get into it. Let's start off with the Hocus Pocus 2 Colourpop collab. This is for the Hocus Pocus 2 film, but it is the third collab that Hocus Pocus is doing with Colourpop. It launches on the 22nd, so that is either tomorrow or yesterday, depending on when this video goes up. And it is a whole new vibe, I have to say. But this cover story, I feel like I have the original Hocus Pocus Colourpop palette. I skipped the second one. I wasn't that into it. It just didn't really do much for me. The colors in the other one were a bit more my style, my speed, my aesthetic, that kind of murky, dusky, you know, tones. But it was very much neutral. And I think a lot of people were a bit disappointed by that. So let me scoosh over so you guys have more room to see. A lot of people were disappointed by the fact that that palette was so what they consider neutral. So this palette, I think, is more in line with what I think. Cat hair on the lip, really love that. It's more in line with what people were expecting originally and what they wanted. I personally think this is cute. It's not something that I want to purchase, but I think it's cute, and I definitely think it's the right direction to go after the first two palettes. I feel like they needed to really go colorful. So they still have neutrals in this. I mean, there's a taupe, there's like an orangey beige. You've got like a brown and like this, like, it might be olive green, or is it a gold? It's kind of like a bronzy gold. So you still have, and then you have this sort of like mushroom gray tone. So you do still have some neutrals, but you also have these really vibrant purples and oranges and that really bright lime green. And then on top of that, they're also coming out with some of their, it looks like the little jelly much, you know, the little jelly shadows. They're coming out with 3 of those in purple and silver and what looks like, I think, is an orange metallic. And then they're also coming out with a really large silver highlighter. 3, I believe these are liquid metallic shadows, or maybe glosses. I can't tell from this photo. Let me see if I can get a better photo. So yes, it's 3 So Glassy lip glosses, 3 Jelly Much shadows, a BFF mascara, the All Hallows Eve 15 pan palette. The highlighter is a shimmering body powder, and then they have a cat ear hair accessory. Yeah, I mean, cute. I think it's cute. I think it's a nice little update from where they went. They went really sort of old school with the first one. The second one was kind of like, I didn't really get what the point of the second one was, because it just felt very like, not like, it felt Halloweeny but not. It felt like Hocus Pocus but not. This one is sort of a nice progression. So I give it the seal of approval. Will I be purchasing it? Nah. What does have my eye are these palettes that are being released from Unearthly Cosmetics. So I've never tried any of Unearthly Cosmetics eyeshadows. I've tried their lipstick formula, which I like. I've tried their little gel I've tried their little gel chrome flakes, which I enjoyed. I still haven't, you know, like opened the wallet for an eyeshadow palette yet, but I've been circling them for a while. They're coming out with 3 eyeshadow palettes. Palettes being released are, first it's called The Weirdos. Look at that color story. Then there's one called So Strange. Then there's one called 1964. These are all so cool. And the one, of course, that's caught my eye is the Weirdos, because I mean, the burgundy, the red, and that green, chef's kiss. That is a color story after my heart. Yeah, that's the one I'm like, okay, well, hello. They're also coming out with, they announced those, and then they announced this palette, and this is called the it's called Warm My Blood palette. It's 20 shades. It's got Akasha from Interview with the Vampire series books from Anne Rice Books, which is really cool. This palette though might be coming to live with me. I don't know. It's on my radar. I'm looking at it. I'm like, how you doing? This releases for pre-order, or has been released for pre-order on the 22nd. I don't know when this video is going up. It's either going up on the 20th. It's either going up on Friday or Saturday. So depending, it's already been released for pre-order, so get it while the getting is good. It's $70 though, which is pretty pricey, but I have a feeling that has to do with some of the finishes in this palette, but it is stunning. If I don't get this, I do still want to get that the Weirdos palette. That looks really good. So let me just say this. I love Halloween, and I love Halloween palettes. I love the aesthetic of, it's sort of like a marriage, a joining of like fall colors and goth colors, and I'm all about that. I tend to like holiday releases a bit more. I mean, Halloween releases more than holiday releases, because I find the color stories to be a bit more interesting. I feel with holiday, you kind of just get a bunch of like gold and silver, and they're like, holiday, you know? I feel like with Halloween, there's a lot of different ways you can go with it to make it interesting. You can go really bright, you can go really dark, you can go gothic, you can go campy, you can go, you know, you can go a lot of different places. And I'm really enjoying what Unearthly Cosmetics is putting down. I'm just saying, I'm enjoying it. Next up, surprisingly, when I saw this, I was like, oh, wow, that's actually kind of interesting. And I mean, I've talked about my lack of interest in Smashbox in a video. And when I talked about brands that I just don't care about so much or bore me, Smashbox was on that list. But I have to say, guys, this Halloween collection looks amazing. It is based on the Masters of Horror. It's called the Masters of Horror collection, and it's Chucky, Dracula, Bride of Chucky, Bride of Frankenstein, and Frankenstein. And it is a collection of cream shadows with corresponding lipsticks. So I'll put the picture up here. And look at the colors. Look at the colors though. Look at the colors. Those cream shadows that Bride of Frankenstein, the Chucky one, I think this is cute. I think this is cute. I think it's fun. It's a small collection. It's not a palette. You don't have to buy the items together. You can either get the lipstick, you can get the shadow, or you can get both and have like a little set. I think this is actually pretty cute, and the swatches look bomb. I mean, look at that chocolate shade. Look at that purple. Look at that nude. Like, even, I'm not even into the red or the green, even though green's my favorite color, but I have enough green lipsticks. Trust me, I own quite a few, but they're not usually this tone. I have like maybe one or two in that tone. But all of these look really pretty to me. They look cool. They look, you know, slightly edgy, and I'm here for it, you know, I'm here for it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna pick this up, but I wanted to mention it because it's the first time that I've seen something from Smashbox where I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I figured it was worth mentioning. You know, I think I owe them that after dragging them in that video. Profusion is releasing so much stuff. I have to say, I do prefer a more curated vibe when it comes to any collection for any holiday. I don't feel like you have to release like 35 things. And a lot of brands have been going the I'm releasing 35 things route this season. Clearly, this year, that's where they're going. They have a 9 shade eyeshadow palette called Entity. They have a 28 shade face and eye palette, a Wicked Rituals 4-piece set, 2 Mystic Fortune Crystal Gels, Candlelight Ritual Frosted Cream to Powder Highlighter, a handheld mirror, a bag with face gems, something called the Superstitious Eye Primer Duo, Moonwater Ritual Mystifying Setting Spray, Wicked Eyes Mascara and Eyeliner Duo, Paranormal Face Paint Stack Makeup and Paintbrush, Spellbinding 2-pair Full Mink Lash Set. That's a lot, guys. That's too much. It's too much. I like the Maleficent horns. Like, they're not calling it that, but that's basically what it is. That's cute. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. I don't even find it to be that interesting because it's just kind of like Ouija. What's our theme? Ouija board. That's literally, they just throw everything's in like shapes of Ouija boards, and it's called rituals. That's it. It's a lot. It's doing the most while doing the least. You know, that's what they're doing. Next up is Makeup Revolution is coming out with their Halloween holiday collection of Beetlejuice. Now, the last Beetlejuice collection that was released was Melt Cosmetics, which I owned and then sold on Poshmark because I was like, why did I buy this? And it's not because it was bad. It was just that it was one of those situations where I got caught up in the hype. And when I got the items, I looked at the shades, specifically in the red one, and I loved that red palette. It is stunning. And I say that if you don't have Melt's red eyeshadow, like any of them, that is a palette to own because the shades are stunning. But I own Myrte, and Myrte has some of the very same shades, like as far as tone goes. And I just didn't, I didn't need it. And then the purple palette with the green, I was like, I own a lot of purple palettes. Why did I buy this? I bought it because it was Melt. It was the holiday. So I wound up selling it because I didn't use it. So yeah. So here's another Beetlejuice collection that I will be abstaining from because I'm not a huge Beetlejuice person. I grew up, I've seen that movie so many times. It was because of the fact that they showed it all the time on one of the local channels in my city, and it was just on all the time. So I've seen Beetlejuice like a bajillion times, but it is in no way one of my favorite movies. It's just like one of those movies that was always on, you know? But I know a lot of people love Beetlejuice, and it looks like they're doing another collab. Warner Brothers is doing another collab, and this time it's with Makeup Revolution. So the prices will be cheaper, but so will the quality. Just putting it out there. It's Makeup Revolution. I'm not a fan of the quality of their products. I don't think that they don't reach my standards. If you love Makeup Revolution, do you? But for me, I'm not a fan. And as you can see, they are coming out with a lot, as Makeup Revolution often does. You know, people talk about Colourpop coming out with a lot, but I mean, they learned it from these guys. Yeah. So it's Showtime shadow palette. There's a Strange and Unusual shadow palette. There's a Beetle House shadow palette. There's a Recently Deceased highlighter palette. Lipsticks. Beetlejuice, Lydia, Never Trust the Living Powder. Those are the lipstick shades, Beetlejuice and Lydia. Never Trust the Living Powder, Cake Liner, Barbara and Adam, something called Strange and Unusual Mascara, Say My Name eyeliner, False Nails, the Lydia Lashes, Beetlejuice Sponge, Beetlejuice Brushes, eyeliner set, cosmetic bag, a Beetlejuice mirror. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there it is. Coming out with some nails. Okay. You've got 3 palettes to pick from and a highlighter palette. The shades of the Beetlejuice palette are very similar to the one that came out from Melt. But I mean, that's not saying much because those are the Beetlejuice colors, so, you know. But yeah, I mean, no, it's a no. I'm good. I'm good. Last makeup releases video that Sherrill Cosmetics and Betty Bean came out with their Halloween palette, and it sold out like right away, as of course it would, because their last collab were so successful. And like I said, I really love the It's Frickin' Bats palette. It's a great palette. And this one is, I'm going to talk about it again. When they restock this, they say they're going to restock it before Halloween. I'm going to be purchasing this because I think the color story is fabulous. It's so Halloween. It's like all of the colors of Halloween together. It's all the colors of fall together. And I just enjoy, and I really, really like the Shroud formula, and I'm here for it. And I think Betty Bean has a knack for color stories. I really do. I really, the two collabs that she's done with Shroud have caught my eye more than a lot of the mainstream brands. Color stories have caught my eye. And then a brand that I have never heard of, but I thought this was really cool. The shades are really cool, and I do want to talk more about like indie brands on, you know, when I talk about makeup releases, because I know that that's something I try to pay attention to, but there's so many brands out there that they can kind of get lost in the shuffle. But I feel like here in this sort of like hyphenate, this sort of shortened, truncated Halloween makeup releases video, I can do that. So NBA Cosmetics is coming out with their Thrills and Chills Duochrome collection. And it is a collection of, it looks like here, 8 shades. They're all duochromes, and I'll put a picture of what they look like. This is sort of the vibe, and then here are the swatches. These look really cool, and the shade Apparition and the shade Bugs and Kisses, Mama likes. Those are pretty. Those are really pretty, and they're kind of like a little bit different. I feel like Apparition is probably like that sort of, what we know about that sort of like duochrome, like bronzy red tone. I don't know if it does the blue shift so much, but it's caught my eye, and Bugs and Kisses is just pretty. Like, I don't know if it has a super heavy shift. It doesn't seem to have as much of a shift as some of the others, but I'm okay with that because I think it's really, really pretty. Bella Beauty Bar is coming out with their Strange and Unusual eyeshadow palette. It is 15 shades. This is a pre-order. Apparently the first one sold out, so good for them. I'll show a picture of the palette here. It reminds me a bit, it's almost like a combination of the original Hocus Pocus from Colourpop, that original palette, but like brighter. It reminds me of that, and like a combination of that, and a little bit of a combination of maybe like the Melt Beetlejuice collection. It's kind of like a combination of those two together, but with just like some tweaks. It's really pretty. I like that they put in, and this is something that I always say and that always bugs me, is I feel like with a lot of Halloween collections, they either go murky or they go super bright and neon-y, and they never think to combine the two. And I like the fact that you get a murky green and a lime green at the same time. You get a bright green, I mean, because those are tones that I love. Lime green and around Halloween, but I also love like a murky green around Halloween, because they are both applicable. They both apply, you know? By the way, it is 90 degrees here today. If I look shiny, yes, I have highlighter on, but I'm also just really hot because Summer has decided to like not leave. Like we thought she had left, like she had packed her bags and like gone, but then she showed up on our doorstep again and was like, bet. So she's here for a limited time only, I'm hoping, because I am not a summer person. I am a fall and winter person, and frankly I am sick of being hot. And I'm filming this video in front of hot lights with no air on, because I was like, you know, sometimes sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna keep the air on, you know, I'm just too hot. But today I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And I am hot, guys. I am hot. Then of course we have to talk about Wet n Wild, because Wet n Wild goes ham every Halloween. They go, oh, you want Halloween? I'll give you Halloween. And they're known for their Fantasy Makers collections there that they come out with every Halloween. So this one is no different. It is freaking ginormous. I'll put a picture up here. It's called the Fantasy Makers Bedeviled Collection. Lots of colorful makeup and rich paint pots, body and face accessories, fake blood, all of the things. And these are good when you're really like, Fantasy Makers is for when you're trying to do costume makeup, you know, like when you're trying to do makeup for your costume. People often, I did when I was, you know, dressing up on the regular, I would pick up some Wet n Wild Fantasy Makers stuff. Their stuff is just really good Halloween costume makeup. This isn't stuff that you're like wearing every day. You know, these are like body paints and like paints to paint your face, different colors and a mix together, and they've got face gems and all these things. So I give them a pass because they serve a different purpose than just like an eyeshadow palette. They also seem to have some cute little false nails and little press-ons that are absolutely adorable. But these are available now at most drugstore retailers, and they will be available at Ulta, or the collection will be available at Ulta October 2nd. And that is everything that we're going to talk about today as far as spooky releases. Let me know in the comments down below, did I miss some of your favorite Halloween releases that are coming out or have come out? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.